Good morning, grade 9s. So here we are at the point of the project where I thought you would be in class and I can help you to make your letters. But seeing as you're not, I'm going to try and put this in a little video for you so that you can follow the steps easier and I get fewer emails asking me, ma'am, what are we supposed to do? So, how are you all? I am missing everybody. Never thought I'd be saying this, but yes, I am missing you. And I hope that you're all doing well at home and that you're coping. Okay, let's jump right in and get started. I'll show you the equipment that you need. Okay, so you need, first of all, cardboard. You can get cardboard from anywhere. An old package of cereal that you finished, something in the kitchen, an old cardboard box somewhere. Just find a nice big piece or a few big pieces of cardboard. Don't make the cardboard or don't get something that's too thick. If your cardboard is too thick, you're not going to be able to bend it. The corners are all going to look funny because it's too thick. And then on the other hand, don't go too thin, because if you make it too thin, then your letter is just going to be all floppy. So find something. I've used here a Rotatrim box that I've opened up. I have the backing of some of the pads that we've used, and I'm probably going to use the backing of the pads because it's a little bit sturdier than the Rotatrim boxes. Then you need to have your letter. Now, if you have a printer at home, that's absolutely great. You can print it out so that you have the letter that you need. I've chosen to do a D, not because it's got any theme to it, but because it's got nice curves, and I want to show you how to bend the cardboard in order to make the curves nice and smooth, if perchance your letter does have a curve. However, if you can't print out your letter, remember that you can just draw it. You've drawn it twice already in stages of the project. You've also drawn it 3D, so you should be pretty good at drawing it. You'll see here that I've made the letter pretty big. This letter is almost 28 centimeters high. I said in the document that I sent through for your lesson that it should be a minimum of 25 centimeters. If you make it smaller, we're not going to really be able to see the images and design that you're going to put on your letter. Then you need to have something to cut on. I don't think your mom and dad are going to be delighted with you if you cut on the plastic table on the patio and cut holes in it, or the kitchen table for that matter. So find a place that has got a hard surface, or put something underneath when you are cutting so that it doesn't mess up your parents' house. You need an empty cutter. It doesn't matter what size. You can also just take a very sharp pocket knife or kitchen knife if you don't have. Just once again, make sure with your mom that you may use her kitchen knife. You need a pencil. You need hot glue. Either a hot glue with a gun, or you can use packing tape. Make it nice and wide so that it keeps the cardboard together nicely. So as you can see, I've cut out the letter and I have pasted it with pieces of tape onto the cardboard just so that it doesn't slide around. I'm now going to use my ruler and a pencil to draw the straight parts, and where it curves, I'm just going to do it freehand so that we have the outline of the letter on the cardboard. There it is. I did struggle quite a bit doing the curves. It's also quite a thick cardboard, and so when you do the curves, if it's not easy to do it, make a small cut and then go deeper and deeper and deeper as you go around the curve. What you can also do once you're done is use some sandpaper and just smooth out the edges if you did gouge it a little bit. You now have the perfect template for your second letter that you need to cut out. Remember, there's going to be two sides and then a wall in between it. So you need to have two of the letters cut out. But you don't need to draw two letters. Just draw the first one, cut it out, and then use it as a template for the second one because they need to be identical. So after you're finished cutting out that D, you now should have two identical letters. What we're going to do now is cut the sides. And as I said in the lesson, they need to be 8 centimeters wide. So I'm just going to cut strips from this cardboard that are at least 8 centimeters wide. It doesn't matter how long they are. We can just put them all together. When the one ends, you start the other one. I'm going to use the thinner cardboard from the Rototrim box for the sides. The reason I'm doing this is that I need to bend it to the curves of the D. Now, if you look closely at this cardboard, you'll see the lines going across. These lines I'm going to use to fold it. So when you cut your 8 centimeter strips and you're wanting to have something that bends, if you've got a curve on your letter, then make sure that these lines are at right angles to the direction of the strip that you are going to cut. I now have a whole lot of strips, and I'm going to take one of them and start bending it for the curves on the D. So take a ruler and bend it in the big places. Make sure that it's bending along the lines that are at right angles, and then bend it smaller and smaller and smaller. So after bending it, you should have a piece of cardboard that looks like this. Yes, there are little lines on it, but those will be covered completely when we put the paper mache over the top. So now you're going to take one at the bottom. You're going to position the edge along the side. You're going to put glue down all along the edge there, and then you're going to paste the side piece on. And you'll continue with all of the edges until you have put the sides on all of it. This other one, this goes on last. Don't try and put it on when you've only got part of the sides up. Otherwise it's going to be impossible to get the glue in there and the shapes correct. First side wall up. Here where it ends, I'm just going to carry on putting down glue and put down another strip of the bent cardboard. Here on the edge, I'm just going to add glue later to glue the two pieces together. There you can see that I've glued the edge together and let it dry. You can just use a plastic ruler to smooth the glue. Remember, the glue is hot, so don't touch it. It's going to burn you because it'll stick to your skin and it's hot. And then when it stopped curving there, I've cut it off, because then now I'm going to measure a piece of straight cardboard, bend it here at the corner, bend it there, and then cut it off over here where I'll put another piece of curved cardboard in. Remember guys, things like knives and scissors and hot glue, please work with them carefully. I really don't want you to end up at the emergency room because of your art project. And there you have your letter. You might see that in some places there are little globs of glue, or there's pieces of the cardboard sticking over the edge. This is not a train smash. All you're going to do now is take the cutter and you just trim it off carefully with the cutter, and dun dun dun, there's your letter. Now that you're done, take a break and have a cup of tea. Civilized life is possible because of tea. Okay, so now that your letter is finished, you can do your paper mache. I'll quickly show you how. You can decide which method you want to use. Either use flour and water, or as I have done, you can use cold glue. I have put about half a cup of cold glue in the bottom of this bowl. I'm going to add about a cup of water, and then you need to mix it nicely so that there are no lumps in the mixture at the end of the day. You want to not just cover the newspaper with glue, you want to actually soak it with the water and glue so it goes into the fibers. remember, paper is actually just wood at the end of the day. Take some newspaper, and as I said in the lesson that I've put up, don't cut it. If you cut it, then it doesn't create jagged edges and it doesn't actually stick so well. So do it into long strips like this. You don't want them too long because it's going to get difficult to wrap them around. Once you've got some pieces, you're going to take it, you're going to dip it completely into the mixture, and then you're going to take the excess off with your fingers. If you don't take the excess off, you're going to end up with a gooey mess at the end of the day. Then you're going to take it and you're going to start wrapping it around your letter. So when you have covered your whole letter, then you're going to put it onto something plastic preferably, or a hard surface, because if you put it onto other paper it's just going to stick to it. So I've used black plastic bag. Just put it on there and you're going to need to give it a few days to dry. Take a photo of it and upload your photo to Teams under the assignment that I put up for the skeleton structure for your sculpture. I can see, or I can believe that some of you will try and not do the paper mache. Why do we do it? Because it strengthens the structure. It also covers any of the edges that are open, or spaces between the cardboard or stuff like that. So you can decide, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But you will lose marks if you haven't done it.